Good afternoon. Hey, let's go. So, welcome back for this afternoon session. This afternoon we should be going with the piston ring. So as you can see, quite a big circle there. We are going to be going through all those rings, quite a lot of them to do. But I started reading the procedure while I was in the intro stuff and everything. I went inside a few times and all. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun this afternoon. So what happened since this morning? First of all, I ordered the Tronian upgrade kit. I definitely didn't buy it, and I remembered why when I was inside this during lunch break. Basically, there was two kits I was looking at, one from Brian Tooley and one from Summit Racing. In both cases, the reviews are good and everything. Of course, one is a little bit cheaper than the other one. Summit Racing being the one that comes at the cheapest price right now. So I was like, all right, so with all that, am I going for that or am I going for something else? And end up, I went with the Summit Racing one big reason being it's gonna be here sooner. So reviews are good. The fitment seems to be really good in LQ4 rocker OEM rockers, and so yeah, we're pretty much gonna get the job done with that. I read a lot into the question and answer section of Summit Racing website, which is pretty cool because basically people can ask a question about a product and somebody or even an employee can answer that. And basically there was a few answers from employees at Summit Racing saying that these bushing are pretty much the bearing, the bronze bearing are pretty much the top upgrade you can do before going with solid roller, which is perfect for us. This is exactly what we want because solid roller are not really street friendly usually, while these rocker roller are really more street friendly and everything. So that's the perfect upgrade for also a street usage point of view. So that's pretty cool. Now now, like I said, that is ordered. Shims are ordered. That was a bit complicated because from Summit Racing, I had the assembly I wanted, but it will be there not until beginning of March, which is basically a month from here. So that was a no-go, a total no-go to be fair. So from there, what I've done is I've looked around, and it costs a little bit more, but we're gonna have something in the next few days from Amazon, so should be there next week, and we're gonna be ready to assemble the head once and for all. The big complicated part being the shims are super available for the old school small block Chevy, but for LS engine, the diameter, the outer diameter of the shims are too big and will necessitate some machining into the head, which I don't want to do, obviously. So that's one of the reasons why they cost a touch more, because there was less availability for the smaller size shim. So part of the game, dealing with that, like, and it's stupid because basically we needed something around 32 millimeter, and most of them are 35 millimeters, just to say that they are not fitting in there. But hey, that's done. So yeah, good big progression today so far. Now I was reading everything in here, and basically what I thought would be the last step might be the step we're gonna have to do right freaking now. Basically, I was thinking about jumping straight into the cylinder, the piston ring adjustment, but they recommend to disassemble the entire engine right now. Reason for that, pretty simple. When we're gonna be grinding the ring and putting them in there, there's gonna be a bit of metal dust falling everywhere, so you don't want that to go on your crank, on your camshaft and stuff like that. So they highly recommend to disassemble the engine, which I wasn't planning to do this afternoon, but at this point we might as well do it. So we want to do everything perfectly, so that's what we're going to do. First of all, here I'm gonna be putting that away. We need to keep that table available for when we're gonna be pretty much doing the piston ring and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and probably make a bit of cleanup on the workbench over there, just so I can drop a few things like the crankshaft, the camshaft and stuff like that, just to make sure they are staying in well protected environment ish. I'm gonna drop towels on top of the workbench and towels on top of them, just to protect them. But we have a bit of cleanup to do before that dual side. Yeah, you see, just a tiny bit of cleanup because that's a mess. So let's go. I'm gonna go straight ahead and start removing stuff from here. So we have like the blanket that was on top of the actual engine. There's a bolt, I don't know where that one was going, which is not great, but I just can't remember what it is. Oh, this is, no, I know what that is. This is an old connecting rod bolt. Easy, with the others in there. Easy. It was probably on the ground because I took it this morning from there. So we're gonna go ahead and make a little bit of a cleanup in there. Just make sure we are ready to set some parts in there. Let me just do that. I think it's better. Yay, it's not cutting my head anymore. So here we go. We're going to disassemble that. I'm gonna put that in the bottom there like it's supposed to be. I'm not even sure how this is supposed to go, but we're gonna find out. Just like that, or should I go like this? There we go. So for now we can get rid of that. We're gonna reuse it though for the differential, like I already mentioned, because differential setup needs to get a fair bit of play here and there. That's closing, that's good. Like you need to measure the backlash of it, they call it, and basically that means there needs to be a little bit of play on the ring gear, but not enough to create vibration. So we're gonna be using that quite a lot. But yeah, for now I'm gonna set the dial indicator on top there. Here I'm gonna move that because I'm afraid of destroying it. That here. So yep, we're gonna be moving a bunch of things around, making sure it's not in the way of anything here. Because what we want is to have everything in a good place. That's gone, that's gone. Valve height, pretty much done. So yeah, so this shim, one thing cool is even if it costs a bit more money, so a thing we won't think about, what's really cool with it is that we have only the shims we need. We won't have a crazy amount of shims that we won't be using. It's really 16 of the 0.06 and 16 of the 0.03 for a total of 0.09, which is exactly the measurement we need to shim from the thing. So with that, we should be pretty good and ready to go. More boxes to burn. Whoop. Stuff like this can go. So we're gonna be setting that because we are probably going to need that if we are disassembling the connecting rod. That here can go somewhere else, just like that here. Quite a lot of things when you think of it, like all the things we have done so far with that engine. Like now all the measurements are done. It's really just the piston ring gapping. Oh, good news. I thought we had 48 of them to do. But do you know what? It's not true. We're gonna be only, I'm missing one big box here. We're gonna be only doing the top ring because the third one, the oil dispenser, don't need anything done to it. So it should be just, well, just 32 of them. And I need to take a look what that does represent. 32 of them. Like we need to pair them for cylinder 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. So we're gonna be working our way around that, but yeah, we should be able to do that pretty well. So here's all the bearing, by the way, the black and orange boxes over there. These are the bearings for most of the wheels and suspension, no, wheels and differential for the Datsun. So once our little package, it's gonna be a huge ass box like the transmission one or the subframe one, but when it's gonna be here, we're gonna be able to install ourselves around here and rebuild the differential, and then we're gonna be able to assemble the wheels once and for all in place with coilovers and stuff. So that's gonna be a big step too, but pretty much in the next few weeks most of the big parts should be in place, and from there we're gonna start building cooling system. We're gonna start building also, cause I wanna say it, turbo system, exhaust system, and I need to order the gauges to install in the dashboard, and from there we're gonna work our way around to get something really crazy. So that's gonna be cool. All right, let me grab a towel, clean that. Then we're going to start disassembling everything. Yeah, I can feel the schmutz in there. It's pretty clean, I swear. Nothing to see here. I need to write to my friend. I didn't told him that we did test the torque this morning for the cylinder head. So I'm gonna be installing a layer of these on the bench, and we're gonna be starting disassembling every damn thing. Just need to make sure I'm not crushing the head gasket there. There we go. There. The gloves can go on the side here. I've done that multiple times, so I know it's gonna be fine. All right, now reverse procedure for all that. That's gonna be a part of it. I'm gonna also, yeah, give me a sec. I'm gonna also clean the other bench there, the blue one, because I want it to be also a place I can put some stuff on it. This needs to go. I'm gonna leave it there. It needs to go back in the house. All right, let's put everything back. That I won't need it, and I know it, so might as well put that in the bin. That filler gauge, we're gonna need that today. These can go there. That can go back in place. So, whoop. Right now I'm trying to clean that corner over there, and maybe I will bring those heads to the workbench, actually, to the one we just cleaned, because I would love to lay the pistons back in place here. That will be great. There you go, there you go. So that can go on the other workbench here. There we go. Let's make a bit of cleanup here too. End of the afternoon, I want the engine to be fully disassembled, and ideally maybe have already a few rings done, so that tomorrow we can finish that. Is it too dirty to put that in here? Nope. We are doing great with that. There we go. Elastic, don't need that now. That also just the same thing. Put that to the side there. Air gun. Gonna leave it there for now with the elastic, just because we know we're gonna need them eventually, but shouldn't be too bad. There we go, here, there, that's going there. And what else? So, like I said, I'm gonna bring those. That thing here, I don't need that for now. There we go. The ruler, I had the ruler in here, can get lost too. Now, that's not good when you're forgetting that you're supposed to have something in there. the necessary material in here. So this and this can go. Something like that, actually. There we go. Let's remove the wheel first. For now, we don't need that. I don't know if we're gonna need it anyway at any point. Big bolt going back in place there. So, future me, if I need to find the big bolt with the adapter for the digger wheel, it's in its rack over there in the blue, right at the top there. Easy. So from now on, I will be able to remove this, and I don't think I'm gonna need to remove that because we pressed it in place. So basically I'm gonna be removing And since we don't have anything relating between the crank and the cam, I should be able to remove the actual camshaft from there. Which I didn't know, so we need to clean that. So for the final assembly, we're gonna make sure to do that. So this is on those bolts that the adapter for the dampener for the timing chain is gonna be. So it's not really pricey. Second of all, this one was a bit rusty, and the seal at the back, like that seal here, I really want to make sure it's not leaking, so a brand new one's gonna be perfect. So that one I'm gonna be able to put it aside in the box because we are replacing that. If it's bolt, because the package came with everything, and now we can remove the crank. The camshaft. So I'm gonna go and grab, is one of these too big to get in there? No, it's actually perfect. So from here, I'm gonna go ahead and start moving the cam. One bearing at a time. So piston, I guess. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna crack loose most of them, I guess. And once everything's gonna be crack loose, I'm gonna start removing them one by one, flipping the engine probably on the side like this, so I have less chance of throwing them to the ground. Go like so. Or I could go in a pair, one by one, because that's pretty much what we're doing. Here. Hard to tell what will be the greatest idea there. Let me grab the 11. Oops. That's 11. Let's go. So this is the point where we need to make sure we're not trying to save times. We need to take our time. So I'm gonna start splitting them up. The cap didn't stay in place, stick together. That's perfect, that's what we want. I'm gonna want to put a hand in here and actually open these up, making sure we have space to throw the cap in its spot. Need to make sure the actual bearing is not going to fall, just like this part here. Want to make sure we are catching that. There we go. Here. So making sure we're not throwing bearings on the ground and that everything's lining up with what it needs to be lining up. One good thing is also to close them fully when you are storing them on the side, just because you don't want them to be opening up and losing a piston or bearing or anything. So putting them aside. So here I can already tell that there's a bit of wear happening on the crank. On the bearing surface, you can see there's a rotational mark on there. This is pretty normal. It's gonna just start itself up. But yeah, basically we are scratching a bit the surface because we spinned it even with oil onto metal surface and everything. So if there was any debris, that's where we're gonna see them. And just to give you an idea, I have like a hair in here, stuff like that. So just living around the engine is creating all that. So yeah, so that was cylinder 1. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna do all of them pretty much. So I'm holding the piston from the cylinder side, just making sure we're not putting ourselves into trouble there. And I'm gonna make sure that the bearing is actually coming with me. Yes, it is. Perfect. Now, just like so, gonna go here. There. It's like giving birth pretty much. Right, I won't go this far. There you go. It's not going to be that long, to be fair, because basically once we're done removing the pistons, we are just going to remove the 5 main cap, and the crank's gonna be out. And that's all what we have installed in there pretty much. So that was number 2. Let's rotate the crank a little so everything's up here. Now we're gonna get into place, build it, into a place where the crank's gonna be on balance, so hopefully it's not going to create problem. Perfect, it's splitting up, because sometimes you have to hit with a rubber hammer your socket on the bolt to just create a shock in it, so it's splitting up. It's splitting apart, but we are all good. So 1, 3, 4. We're gonna go with the 3 here. There we go. Yep, just creating a bit of wear already on the bearing surface, but not because we did anything wrong, just because it's part of the game. So this one should go right here, I think. Nothing here. Just need to find out which one is that one. Perfect. It's so hard to tell. These numbers are so gone. Double VG. I can see there was something there, but here it's almost impossible, but I can tell it's the right side just by the cutting mark. It's crazy, those rods, it seems like they are just splitting them up open, like there's some porosity on the cut. It's not like a straight cut. What I mean by that is, look at this. You can see in the middle there's a bit of a wave. I don't know if you're gonna see that on the cam, but basically at the center here there's a bit of a wave, just like they were cracking them open. It's crazy. We're gonna see if our hardcore HC piston still has the wear mark on it. I feel like it might be gone with just spinning the engine around. There we go, 3 out of 8. Let's say 4. Go. Catching that piston that went out by itself so well, and now WN. Oh, I can always make sure by checking if the gap is on the same side. I think I'm all right. When those two marks needs to be on the same side too, perfect. So there we go. Here, 4 of them. No chance for that one to move to the side and fall down. No, but better be safe than sorry. Let's keep rotating. So we're gonna go here and move on top here. Just need to keep that on top. I'm always scared of that loosening up too quick and hurting myself, like snapping my fingers on the edge of the engine. That will suck so much. Happened to me way too often on standard stuff, but now engine wise it seems a bit different, but yeah. There we go. Perfect. Now we're gonna do that. We're getting there. Yeah, they all did some wear mark, and it's not that our crank was not clean, so that's just normal wear, but it's crazy to see that happen so quickly. No wonder why we're gonna be using some assembly lube for the final thing, because when you see that happen in just a few rotations with engine oil, you really want something thick for the first startup. Because for startup, you need to build pressure everywhere, you need to make sure everything's doing its job, and like you don't have a lot of tries to do that. It needs to be spot on. From what I know, we are probably going to test the cranking once to see if there is actually some oil pressure, because we have a oil pressure sensor from Haltech that we're gonna be putting in with the ECU that's coming with it, if I'm remembering correctly. And pretty much what that means is that the ECU will be able to detect any low oil pressure situation. So I'm gonna make sure that this does not happen. Like we are, actually I'm not. The ECU is gonna make sure that we do have oil pressure before cranking. So we're gonna wait for it to tell us everything's okay. We should see straight into the software actually in lifetime the oil pressure going up. And when that's going to happen, we're gonna be able to activate the ignition and let it crank and turn on. Because since the fuel pump and stuff like that are going to be controlled with the ECU, we can basically deactivate those during the testing session, like making sure we have oil pressure and stuff. So just cranking the engine without it starting, because if it starts with no oil pressure, you're basically breaking the engine in a few seconds. So you're good for a good dismantle session right after that happens. While just cranking, you can still damage it, but there's more chance for you to catch it in time. It's if you're trying to fix the problem too many times that you're gonna have a problem with doing that. So our HC number 7, we're gonna be able to take a look at it and see if that wear mark that happened because of a small debris is still there or not. I guess it's gonna be there, but it might has flattened out and be less apparent. Let me check. It was not on this side, I think, which is good. Because if it was, well, it's not there anymore. Oh yeah, it's still there, but it's really not. Yeah, it's close to somewhere where it's gonna go away on the first start, I'm pretty sure. Whoa, almost threw a bearing to the ground, so really need to be careful with those. Because that one just tried to get out of that. All right. One hour into the stream and we're almost done. Crank won't be long after that. 12 volts, 16 volts, something like that. Wait, 10 on top. 20, I think. Am I wrong? Yeah, I'm wrong, because that's 10, 20, 30 volts. 6 main times 5, yep. All right, and last one here. Last but not the least. I think one thing I could have done better, but like now it's too late to even think about it. Oh, here we go. The last one, and we have the bearing staying on top there. Gonna put that aside, and we're gonna put that back in it right after we remove that one. But yeah, one thing I could have done better is follow a little bit more the book for what has to do with the actual oil they are using when doing the pre-assembly. They are using, I think, something a bit thicker and non-synthetic, so which is helping, I think, for just preventing any wear. It's a bit thicker, so it's helping for that. I think that's what I did understand from it, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a huge game changer whatsoever. So AI back in place. So our 8 piston are out on the bench, and we're gonna be going with our stuff. I'm gonna put them to the top so that if we want to use the bottom part to actually put the piston ring just underneath each of them, we're gonna be able to keep track of them real easily. That's what we call organization there. So now I was about to use my glove full of engine oil to scratch my eye, which is not really the best, but yeah. So now we just have to remove basically what's left here, so the main cap, all of them here, and then remove the crank itself. So we should have enough space in here. It's getting a bit tight, but I think we're gonna be able to make it happen. So I might be rolling the cam already into some towels, just, you know, to make sure that we're not having any drama scratching the surface for no good reason. And there's absolutely no good reason for that to happen. So crank is gonna be rolled into paper towel. I did something a bit stupid there. All right, there we go. So that I can put it against the head, and that's gonna allow us to have a bit more space. So let me grab the number 10 socket. We're gonna start with the sides. Again, remember, never use power tool for those. Some people are doing that, but basically you don't really want to do that. You really want to feel if something's going wrong with your hands and not let something way too powerful hit and smash a bolt or break it or anything. So always by hand. As you can see, these ones are really easy to remove, so I don't need a lot of force to remove them. Tap. And I might use crankshaft bolt. I see the thing in here. It's full of dirt. Gotta put towels at the bottom there. Boom, boom, boom. Just making sure we're not pulling dirt on them for no reason. We're gonna throw them inside. So this way, everything should be perfect. Almost back with a bare block. Then we're going to determine the exact gap we want for top and second ring, so top and mid ring, and we're gonna start doing that. Knowing that each of them has a different thickness, so we shouldn't be able to mix them. Because in the book they are saying that we need to identify them really well, so like top, second, and for which cylinder. In our case, that was not great. In our case, we shouldn't need that because, like I said, we have like, I think it's 1.2, 1.5, and 2.5 or 3 millimeters, something like that. Like the groove all have different thickness, so it's gonna be pretty straightforward. So I'm basically removing them, all those bolts, in the reverse order that we are torquing them. That's just a proper way to do most of the thing. Going the opposite way as assembly is usually helping quite a lot to prevent any drama from happening. So are you okay with that? No, but for that, yes. We won't be using you though because you're really small. I'm gonna use probably 13 for those. Yep. But for the other one there, we need probably the 5/8 or the 15 right here. I am right. So that's gonna go with that one here. So let's start loosening those. I was asking myself why is there threads on top of those, but that's gonna be for the oil pan, or actually more the baffle inside there. There's a plate covering that, so that oil stays a little bit more on top. So we're gonna be using that later on. There we go. So these should come out. Yes, sir. Let's remove them. Pom, pom, pom. Can't wait to paint the engine at the end of the week. It's gonna look so much better. Because that's the next step. Once we're done with piston ring, we're cleaning the block. First thing is cleaning that block and then let it dry properly, helping it dry properly, and then we're going crazy and basically painting, like masking tape all over the flat surface that has gasket going on it, covering the inside, and just spraying paint every freaking where. Done. Don't think I'm gonna be able with that one, so I'm gonna use a conversion and go with the big one. Let's remove these. Again, we need to keep in mind we have bearing surface in there, so we're gonna be removing those. And now I need to think where I'm gonna put them actually. Oh, I forgot two. Lol. Lol, lol, lol. I've done this one, right? Yep. We need to make sure we're not swinging those on the ground like we did once, because these are getting in like really tight in there, so we need to make sure we are prying them but without throwing them away, because we did that the other day and it sucks. It's the worst feeling. We were lucky because it didn't hit a mating surface or anything, but could have been super bad. go. All right, time to open that up. So see if we can. No, no, no. Oh, maybe. Maybe. Let's see these two at the front. Again, it feels sketch, so I will just be careful. Actually, you know what? Let's be safe. They won't be able to go anywhere if I have at least one bolt holding them in place. Just to unstick them from there. That's being intelligent there. We are replacing all these bolts for the final assembly also. ARP entering the game. There we go. Now I feel safe doing what I'm about to do. Using the big extension to basically go ahead and smash them out. So we're just prying on them in the holes on each side. This is what we're doing with those. But yeah, still need to make sure everything is safe. So basically I'm putting that one here, and I'm just going there. Oh yeah, that's working with the bolt. That's a crazy good idea. There we go. So we can just put them up without even worrying for them to get out. There we go. That's a good way to do it. Really happy with that technique. So now I can remove all these bolts, not even worry about the cap falling off. I will need to find something to get the bearing in there. Don't know if I still have the actual. Nah, the box, I think I threw it away. Shoot, I didn't think of it. So basically, I'm gonna need to remove those caps to clean everything up. So for now, everything's gonna go in here. We'll see that afterward. Truss bearing. All of them looking at the back except the last one looking at the front. Sheesh. See? That little black thing you're paying for is getting removed really easily, I feel like. But I mean, it's helping. It's just that, okay, I've paid a bit more, but it's just the brand is renowned, so I'm gonna trust that. Right, I'm gonna leave the bolt for now. I'm gonna leave that for sure, because they said we don't have to remove it for now. And all I have to do is find space for all those little things, because the crank is not really what I call little. So let's get the crank to the workbench. That's looking good, that's looking good. No big deal. Remove that and see if I can push it even further back, so no one's catching in that. Perfect. And now we need to remove those bearings, so I'm gonna start. 5 is at the front here, so I'm gonna just make sure I'm putting them with where they are supposed to be. Go, thrust bearing is out. You see there was oil. There's oil that got behind the surface there, so that's something we need to take care of. Like, I think it's normal that this is happening, but basically when we assemble them, we need to make sure it stays super dry down there, because we want them to seize a little bit with the block. So this way it's gonna be like, it's gonna be basically gripping to that surface from the backside, and so it's gonna be, it's not going to spin, because basically one thing that can happen when building an engine, and just like when having an engine, is for those bearings to spin, so to just slide, since it's a circle, and if the two of them slides like this, it removes the possibility for the oil to be spread around, so which is not good. So that's why obviously you want that to stay clean. Here it's kind of normal, so that these are getting a bit wet at the back at the same time, because basically they are sitting in there and the oil is getting applied from all this thing here through here. So yeah, quite a normal. All right, there we go, bare block. So from here we're gonna be able to spin it around and start working. Oh my god, that's so light. There we go. So we're gonna start working on the piston ring from here. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna just make sure we put a towel on top of all these. Look at that. That's a beautiful bench now. Everything's in here, so we're gonna make sure to cover that and prevent dust from getting on top of those. So let me throw that away for now, because I want to make sure it's not going to be a problem. Try to push a little bit further back the heads. So it's really just to cover it temporarily to prevent any major dust, even though we're gonna clean that all over again like I already said. It's really just preventing any bad thing from happening. There's the crank. I'm not sure how we're gonna cover that, but hey, let's find out. Yeah, that's what I thought. One layer won't be enough, so we're gonna put a second one on the other side. There we go. So just like that, it's gonna help prevent any dust from happening in there. So engine parts secured. All right, Whew, that's been cool. That was cool. That was way shorter than I expected it to be. So again, like I just said, back to a bare engine block, nothing else left in there, nothing. So now we're gonna start working with these and just pushing the rings in there, taking measurement and stuff. So hell yeah. Let's move that to the side here because that's where all the action's going to happen. Hopefully I'm not going to hide too much of it. So there we go. So we're gonna start here and basically we're gonna move our way around. I'm gonna change my glove again. And yes, so we're gonna try to find, first of all, well, let's remove some tools that we won't need. Like I said, we might be pivoting the table like 90 degrees, so we have a corner around here because that's gonna be easier to mount the actual piston ring gap tool. I'm getting so messy on that workbench there. That we won't need. Oh, all right, piston ring and gap calculation, because basically we're gonna try to probably mount that something like this. So we're gonna spin that around eventually. Okay. The ring room to expand with heat slightly during engine operation, thereby preventing the ends of the ring from butting together, a scenario that will result in severe parts destruction inside the cylinder. Basically what they means by that is that when the piston ring, there's just a gap at one end, all right? And the camera switched without me noticing, dual side. So just maybe we can see it there. Yeah, at the back here, you see there's a gap there. So basically when we're gonna be compressing that to put it in the piston, the gap's gonna be really tight like this. But what happened is that with heat, RPM, pressure inside the cylinder, that gap's gonna close eventually. It's gonna start shrinking at least. And what can happen basically is that if it gets in contact to each other and start putting pressure together, it can basically put enough pressure to kink upward and destroy the piston. So if that happens, what we will see here is that edge, that top edge there, that thickness, having a part exploding inside the cylinder. So because like your ring is pushing on each other, that will create pressure that will pop a part of the piston that will, like, that's running, let's say, idle 750 RPM. So just at idle, that would be 750 times in 1 minute. That little chunk is hitting everywhere and creating damage all around. So obviously that destroyed the cylinder, that it destroys the piston head, it destroys the cylinder head also with the valve and everything. That's if it's happening at idle speed. If usually it's not where it's happening, this is happening more at high speed, high RPM. So if you say 5,000 RPM, that means it's gonna hit 5,000 times in 1 minute. So which is a bit nutty. And I say 5,000, but as we have seen, the piston go up and down twice in one revolution. So basically it will mean 10,000 times getting compressed up there. So that's a bit crazy when you think of it. So that's why you want to make sure your piston gap is good, because basically you want to make sure that during operation it's not going to get too close to each other and pop under pressure. So This is why we're doing that. One of the reason is that. Second reason, because I think since they are genuine GM1, these are probably already pre-gap, but we're gonna be increasing the gap from factory. Reason for that, boost. Boost is actually applying more pressure inside the cylinder, because basically you are pushing more air and more fuel in there, creating a bigger explosion, so creating more pressure on all the components of the rotating assembly, rings included. One of the failure with a turbo setup that you will see is usually the piston either bending, which is probably the biggest risk we have. Like snapping or bending one of these connecting rods could be one of the biggest risks, or damaging the piston itself under pressure. But again, that's why we're gapping our ring, just to try to prevent that, and that's why we upgraded to the Gen 4 connecting rod, because the Gen 3 is weaker than that. So even though I think in the rotating assembly this is part of our weak spot, it should be like way better than what was in there, and people are already making 6,600 HP on Gen 3 assemble, like bare block, short block assemble. So from there, it's just better. So we will go with that. Now, to calculate that, there's a bit of maths happening in the book here. However, I think it doesn't involve the turbo part of it. So let's see. On the flip side, too much gap will cause engine efficiency to be lost, as an excess of gases will escape from above the piston into the crankcase gases that will otherwise have added to cylinder pressure. It is for these reasons that it's an exceptionally bad idea to deviate from what a ring manufacturer recommends regarding end gap. Okay, yeah. So basically, when you're having an explosion in the cylinder, you're creating a boom that's gonna create pressure, that's gonna push the piston, and this is basically power. So too much of a gap will reduce the efficiency of the explosion, which means you're gonna lose actual power doing that. Reason we prefer to have a bit of a bigger gap with turbo is because we are already adding pressure by ourselves, so and the pressure we're adding is gonna be adding more power than what we lose with a bigger ring gap, so that's why it's worth. A typical set of high-performance rings consists of plasma molded top ring and ductile iron second rings, and many manufacturers of such a ring set will specify a minimum of 0.004 inches of end gap per inch of cylinder bore. Diameter for the top ring, let's say we are putting together an engine with a 4.005 inch bore, which is not the case. We have 4.000, so that's pretty cool. That's going to be an easy math. That will mean 0.060 inches in their example. It should be noted that this number will be the minimum end gap for a typical naturally aspirated engine. Other engines require somewhat wider end gaps, as the increased cylinder pressure that come along with nitrous oxide, turbocharger, and supercharger add heat inside the cylinder. So yeah, compressed air, more heat because it got compressed, so therefore more heat in the cylinder, which means more expansion. Further gap recommendations are usually slightly larger for second rings than for top rings, as many engine builders feel a wider second ring gap prevent pressure buildup between the rings. Some actually recommend that its gap be narrower, since this ring experiences less heat. Again, ring design and material play a role in all of this. We can't stress this enough, always stick to the end gap recommendation given by the ring manufacturer. If you have any questions that aren't explained in the instruction, or if your rings didn't come with instruction, call the manufacturer for clarification. Remember, botch the ring fitting step and the result will either be loss of engine efficiency or loss of an engine. We don't want that. We definitely want something that will work. After ring fitting is complete, it's important to debore the end of each ring I don't even know what that is. A stone or similar instrument. This remove any stray pieces of metal that could score the cylinder or become large. Oh, okay, it's just to smooth the end. Note that it is not a bad idea to inspect the end gap of drop-in rings to determine whether the deburring process might be needed on them too. Debur one cylinder at a time so as to avoid any chance of ring mix-up. Each is now uniquely fit to a particular cylinder. When both the top and second ring have been deburred, clean the rings and label each cylinder set, top and second ring, with a magic marker and masking tape. The most tedious part of any engine build is now over. At this point, you should discuss any unresolved issues you may have encountered during pre-assembly with your machine shop. With any such problems having been taken care of, remember that you will need to clean all engine components as detailed in Chapter 6 one more time before proceeding to Chapter 8, Final Assembly. We're getting there, guys. All right, let's find out how much gap we need on those with turbocharger. As I said, I saw the total seal recommendation. I'm gonna try to see if there's anything different for the genuine GM parts. However, like, basically 15 psi seems to be the in-between for mid to high performance, so it seems to be the place where it's getting cut. So one of them was saying, I think it was 0.022 ring gap, and the other one was 0.028, something like that. So we might be going in between that, or preparing for more psi than we are actually going to run, just in case at some point we want to crank it up. Shouldn't be the case, but we never know. Like, with what I just read, I kind of want to make sure I'm not going too crazy, but at this point I'm like, also, I don't want to be reopening the engine for just gapping the ring because, oh my god, I'm putting more PSI than I was supposed to, or something like that, you know? If the engine's happy, why not use it, right? All right, let's go. So, GM genuine piston ring gap. I think that's gonna be an interesting search. OEM GM LS piston ring gap. So 1.2, 1.5, 2.5, that is the actual thing I have. Understand rule of thumb is 0.004 per inch bore. I'm at 4-inch bore with LQ9. However, from there I see conflicting info. Some like wider gap or tighter gap on the second ring. Neat tip, greatly appreciated. Thanks. Second ring gap should be equal or greater than top ring to allow gases somewhere to go. If they can't get out, you will develop ring flutter, which interrupts the seal process. Having said that, if it's a milled street build, which it sounds like, with no boost in your future, I will throw the ring in as is. If I need to, you're buying non-file rings as in the link you posted. First ring is 0.0. Second ring seems like it's 0.005 off. For the top ring, no. Every piece of information, including my build book, says 0.016, which is what the book says actually. So Call out for gap to be confusing and contradictory as a misprint. Ended up at so stuck to the basic rules plus a little just in case a nitrous bottle falls in the bag by accident. Oh no, you know the crazy thing that can happen. I ended up at 0.026 and 0.028, which is pretty much what I've seen so far. The thing is, a gap a bit too big affect nothing, a gap too small can be a bad deal. Yeah, a bit too big, but really too big can be really, really bad. Better safe than sorry. Your spec seems pretty loose, but super safe for the 0.026. I have been leaning towards 0.017, 0.020, but no plans for power adders. Well, I'm going to start gapping. Can always enlarge a bit before I assemble, but I think it sounds that should be gapped to be safe. Yeah, 0.017 when they recommend 0.016 seems like a good plan for them as naturally as perioded stuff. I just want to know my intermediate build goal to get over 400 HP, 400 pounds of torque. Then possibly do some better heads and exhaust. It's a low power torque motor for truck. Low power 400 HP. Damn, we are in the LS world. Have even 1.1 too little, the end butt together when they get hot, which result instant throttle destruction. Yeah, that's why you need to make sure they're not end butting to each other. All right, let's search turbo LS ring gap. Gapping LS piston for boost. Is there anything? Okay, with nitrous turbo, it's 0.006 per inches. So yeah, okay, I see. And there's probably, okay. I'm pretty sure I already know where we're gonna end up, but yeah. I have a 5.3 on the stand with the crank installed. I was thinking I could get the rings for 8-10 pounds for since I have the opportunity. I read that some here have used 0.26 on 0.026 on top and 0.027 second and 0.25 0.25 okay. But like I said, I have the engine as a stand that doesn't cuss. This is my first LS build. I've built mostly second gen SBCs, whatever the motor came with. I set them at 0.03 top. That's really big. 0.028 on the bottom. Seems most do that if they plan for 15 pounds or more boost. 810 you are probably okay with stock ring gap. I would still increase them, but yeah. Let's read the proper website from Wiseco, because Wiseco is renowned for engine parts. Ring gap insurance. Setting the correct ring gap on aftermarket piston ring is crucial for proper performance and engine longevity. Okay, high performance racing with nitrous turbo. It's 0.006 per inches of bore, so that means yeah, 0.024 is what they recommend here. And here we go with 0.0057, so they have a lower gap at the second ring and a bigger gap at the first ring, which is, you see, kind of weird, because like the company are recommending that, but at the same time, people seems to do the opposite every single time. Most of the engines you will encounter utilize a ring package with a second compression ring below the first to provide additional sealing and another path for heat to escape the piston into the cylinder bore, and from there into the coolant jacket and eventually the atmosphere. As shown above, the desired ring gap for the second ring is often but not always greater than the top. Wait, what? But here you were 0057, not 006, so that's gonna be less, right? Oh wait, is it? Oh, okay. For modify or nitrous oxide, high performance racing, but it's when it's getting to the power stuff. If one engine is 9:1 and the other is 14:1, the higher compression version will need the larger of the two gaps. We're going with low compression ratio. That's helping. Not setting ring gaps at all. Okay, not reading the suggestion ring and gaps provided by the piston manufacturer. All right, let me check. Do we have any info on that? I think we have absolutely nothing. Let's try to find with the actual part number 890-17484. All right, rings. I have them right on. Piston rings. 4 inches bore, 1.2 millimeter, 1.5, 2.5 thickness, single piston set. They cost $32 per thing. Just saying. So we don't want to be messing with them. And now, and designed for the 2005 and 2006 LS2 and the 2006 L76 engines. So we have LS2 2005 or 6 piston, stainless steel, iron, moly. This is like basically the high performance stuff. LS2 turbo ring gap. It's crazy how hard it is sometimes to find the proper thing, the proper info from an official website. Everything I'm looking at is, oh, wait, did I? No, okay, I haven't missed anything. Okay, sorry. Yeah, basically right now what's crazy is that I have to look on forums with posts that are from 2007 to have info on one of the most built engine in the world. Yeah, changing these will pretty much mean I can go up to 1,000 wheel HP. Not what we're planning for. That will be nuts. Okay, ring gap chart. I have an official website here. All except gapless top. Okay, total seal recommended gap chart for everything except, so I think that could be a really good place to start. So medium boost 15 to 30, we will be into the 007 per inches for the top ring and 0.007 per inches for the second ring. So basically that will mean something pretty decent with gas and no nitro, so that will be perfect. So 0.007, that will mean, let's calculate that, 4 inches times 0.007, 0.028, which is pretty much what we have seen. And basically they recommend both 0.028 for top and second ring, which, I mean, a lot of the info I was seeing was mostly for naturally aspirated, so I think we're gonna stick with that. Yep, 0.028 will be our target there. So I will open a first one and take a look at how it behaves in the actual cylinder here. First of all, I'm gonna spin the table. So let's make sure, because basically we're gonna use our filler gauge and everything here. Let's just do that. However, that's weird. So weird to have that like this, but basically that's gonna allow us to mount this right here, have a better position to work on that, even though this is a bit, that would have been the best, I think, because I need to make sure that doing that, pushing that, should be pretty good, to be fair. Let's bring the clamp and we're gonna see this. So basically, I haven't shown it to you, sorry guys. Let me just show it. We were in that view for a long time. There we go. This is what I'm gonna be referring to. So see, it's a PDF from a website with an actual name of a company. I know one of the tools we are using are from them for that. So I'm trusting that, and I already saw that one there. So basically, I'm pretty sure this is a really good reference for us. So that's gonna be where we're gonna be starting, and yeah, so let's go the clamp, and we're gonna be throwing that in here like so. So basically that's just going to hold that. So we're gonna be, hey yo! Woo! That's gonna work perfectly. Hello Hawk! Good afternoon. As you will see, it's super calm this afternoon. Not a lot of people around, but hey, we're working and we're making progression, which is pretty cool. So yep. It's already 4. Did you like my sound? I don't know what it is. Can you try it in the chat just so we might hear it? Like it's maybe already there? Because I'm a guy at his stuff who did some scavs during his lunch break. The scream at the end is like, mwah, chef kiss. The scream is good. I love the short that was coming with it. So now you have Gluey in here with you at all time. Big love. Thank you so much, by the way. Like, that's freaking 66,000 channel point you use so far. So that means you're watching quite a lot, and it's really, really appreciated. So, hey, want something crazy? Dual side. It's all naked again. No more piston, no more nothing. Everything is disassembled again. Back to a bare block. It's pretty, but there's nothing left in it. Everything's over there. Boop. And everything's over here. Hey Jamal, welcome, good afternoon, how you doing? Boop. So we're back with a bare bone block. Nothing else is in there, and reason for that is pretty simple. We need to pretty much do our ring gap now. So as I was saying just before, we took a bit of time finding the proper spec for that. We're going to be going with 0.028 of an inch for both top and second ring, just because basically this is what is recommended with it. So nothing more easy than that. So what we're gonna be pretty much doing here is go ahead and open a first package, which is stressful because I've never done that before. Not opening package, but like working with piston ring. And we're gonna start looking at the first one here. So let me bring you back here, hoping the camera won't break. I heard a big truck. Oh, is this here? Please tell me it's my big. Oh my God! It's here. The $10,000 delivery is here. There's 5 huge boxes on my driveway, like on my main entrance in front of the main door. Holy crap, there's so many. Woo-hoo-hoo, that's gotta be good. Holy crap. It's not 5 turbos, it is Willwood big brake kits, coilovers front and rear, differential upgrade for an LSD, and 1.5 way LSD, and front hub done on the CNC, and there's also some vent for the hood and stuff like that. So like quite a bunch of stuff, but honestly, like, oh, I can't believe it's finally here. So that's gonna be a lot of parts to throw in the car. Holy crap, damn, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. From MasterCard up to your door, let's go. Holy crap, woo! I can't wait to open those up. Tomorrow morning might be a bit of unboxing, not gonna lie. I kinda want to look at them. All right, let's keep going, because I was about to test that, and after that I might end it up there. Need to go to the grocery. It's not my turn, but I said to the girlfriend I will go because she is working quite a lot lately, so I'm a good boyfriend and I'm gonna do that. All right, so the first ring and second ring should be pretty obvious in here, because we have 1 and 2. These are for the oil. So what time you gonna play tonight? Yes, quite early, I will say, probably between my 7 and 8 until late as usual. So here we go. These are the piston ring. So the first one and second one should have 1 millimeter of the is it one? No, 0.3 millimeter of difference. So I'm gonna grab just a dowel caliper and measure them to see which one is thicker. Just making sure, because I think I already see it and feel it actually. That one should be the small one. And that one should be the second one. Yep. So this is second, this is first. So here what we're going to do is just throw that in here. Let me show you properly. Yeah, I love to hear that. So yeah, I need to run to the grocery, prepare the dinner, and after that I'm gonna be there. And dinner tonight is gonna be chicken with orzo and yeah, a bunch of things. So here we are. We should be able to do that. And you see what I just did there? Basically, I'm gonna use that to set it flush. I'm just going to push it like so, making sure it is still against that with my finger, and there here I know that it is sitting horizontal straight into the cylinder there. So this is why we are using that tool. It is to make sure the distance all around is good, and this is where we're gonna be measuring the gap. Can you see it? Can you see the little gap we have right here? This is what we're gonna be measuring. So since this is the OEM gap, it should be at 0.016 or really close to that. So let's try that first. See, 0.016 is not fitting right now, so that will be not even enough for the basic usage. 0.014, not quite there. So the guy had 0.011 on his, which is pretty much what we have here also, I think. 0.012. Well, 0.012 is fitting, but it's a bit difficult. I just moved the ring because it was a bit difficult. Usually you're not supposed to have any difficulties. Let's just make sure we're still in place. You shouldn't be having any resistance with these. If you need to push that too hard, it is pretty much because it is not the right gap. So here 0.012 is what we have. We need to increase that to 0.028, so 0.028. So that's where we're gonna be working from. But for tonight, I'm thinking about leaving that there. It's not been even 2 hours I'm streaming. I'm such a lazy ass, but honestly I just feel like it's maybe a good place to just leave it there and go ahead and make the other things I need to do. Take those crate inside here and pretty much start that tomorrow morning, because we're gonna be putting the rings inside and outside the engine quite a lot. I need to check also how to properly gap them, because basically the book says that you're supposed to just push and grind one side of the ring, but I feel like other performance company recommend pushing both sides at the same time, so you keep everything square in it. So that's why I want to just validate all that. So yeah, I feel like I'm gonna leave it there, guys, for tonight, and I'm gonna be there tomorrow morning 9:30 ish. But this morning I was pretty close to it. I think I was actually there at 9:30 or like 9:40. So making some progress. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much again for being here. Thank you, Hawk, for that second sound. Thank you, Jamal, for dropping by and everything. Tomorrow morning, my 9:30. You can see my time right here, right now. So you can make the difference with where you're leaving. And basically, if you want to be there, I think we're gonna start with a bunch of unboxing, and that's gonna be sweet. But sweet, because this is some top-end parts we're having in those boxes, and I can't wait to open them. So basically everything's looking pretty, everything's looking amazing. It's the greatest brake setup I ever seen so far. It's I mean, except on like super high-end race car, but for street cars it's like the best of the best. So I can't wait to open that. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys. I love you all. Bye!